Thank you guys so much, and good afternoon, and thank you all for being here. This is the very first ARKAST Awards. Even though it's our third year for the festival, this is the first time that we've done awards to help celebrate the creative minds who are creating podcasts and are making differences in Arkansas and around the flyover states. My name is Ty King, and I'm the Executive Director of the Arkansas Podcast Collaborative. We're a nonprofit organization that hosts ARKASTs, and that's what it actually started with. It was just one event. Now in its third year, every year a lot of blood, sweat, and tears goes into making these events happen, but especially so with this year. We've met with big rewards though because of that. Over the next 3 days, we have podcasting icons that have flown in from all across the United States to speak and share their knowledge with you. Our organization provides free resources for those who are already podcasters or those who are considering becoming podcasters. It all started with one single night in September of 2022. I had the idea to introduce Arkansas's first podcasting event, and the goal was to highlight creators from across the state and to help people learn how to create their own shows. But after that night, something had sparked. I started getting a lot more questions about how to start a podcast and when the next year's event would be. So Karen Stewart, who was the main featured speaker of the first event, met with me at a coffee shop, and we talked about the opportunity for a nonprofit for the podcasting industry. So we immediately went to work building out our board and recruiting our third founder, Brittany Rush, who helped me with the first ARKAST. The official mission of this organization is to foster a diverse community of podcasters throughout Arkansas, but we've been able to do so much more than that. We became a champion for podcasters who are in Arkansas. Over the past few years, I've spoken at the world's largest podcast conventions in Los Angeles and then again in Washington, D.C. We've hosted around 25 workshops, spoken at dozens of other events and classrooms, built relationships with top podcast industry services like Riverside and Mopod. And this year alone, we recorded with Mark Cuban, Marvel Studios, and Jelly Roll, just to name a few highlights. And I'm saying that not just to highlight ourselves, but to say that we do this for you. Playing a role in helping some of the best talent in the world get discovered by the world is some of the most rewarding work that I've ever been a part of. And tonight, we honor you. I've been listening to podcasts since they were MP3 files that you had to download off of people's websites. Some of you in the room, that was when the dinosaurs ruled the earth. So, I remember when my grandparents, my Mimi and Dee Dee, introduced me to audio storytelling when they sent me cassette tapes of War of the Worlds, Twilight Zone, the old Shadow radio play. They captured my imagination in a way that no other medium had before. And as much as I love storytelling, my big dream was to be a musician on stage, singing in front of a crowd, and I actually had the opportunity to do that for 7 years. But standing on stage in front of you all tonight and celebrating the hard work of the trailblazers in a young medium is far more rewarding. Podcasts are a very special medium. They inspire us, they inform us, they let us know that we're not alone. They raise awareness and make us laugh, entertain us, and ultimately change us. They have the ability to change how we communicate as a society, and they help us understand someone else's viewpoint or even change laws. No matter how many listeners a podcast has, as long as there is one, there's a potential to change everything. Our organization has several core values, including community and integrity, but tonight, for the very first time, we're able to demonstrate probably the most important, which is affirmation. We're here to celebrate winners and their hard work that they put into their shows. So earlier this year, we put out a call for the public to nominate podcasts in the flyover states in over 32 categories. And we had a resounding over 2,000 nominations, which far surpassed anything that we expected. So we opened the voting polls for the public to vote on the winners in each category, and it was very competitive. Many of you have very strong followings, and that speaks to the work that you do. It would have been impossible for us to have named ourselves just one winner for each category, so the factors of the public voting has come out and voted for you. The fact that they've done that is a testament to how you are reaching people. So tonight, as you stand up here on stage and accept your rewards, remember that it's not just you up here, but behind you are hundreds of others in your genre that are looking to you to be a leader and hoping that you will open doors for them as well. So without further ado, let's go ahead and start getting the first awards up here. Cody Johnston and Elaine Johnston, would you mind coming out here? How many other people do I have behind the curtains? Who's just hiding back there? Just one. Anna and Xavier. Hey, how are you?
Best Business Podcast. In today's ever-changing world, business leaders and entrepreneurs need insights and inspiration to stay ahead of the curve. Podcasts deliver expert advice, cutting-edge strategies, and compelling stories of success. And the ARKAST Podcast Award for Best Business Podcast goes to the Wellness Mamas Podcast.
Do I say this?
No.
Oh.
If you want to.
Hi, we're Caitlin and Steph. We're the Wellness Mamas. We own a business in Rogers, Arkansas, and we also have a podcast. It's called the Wellness Mamas Podcast. We hope you listen. Thank you.
Podcasts have an amazing ability to bring people together, spark conversations, and build stronger communities. The winner of tonight's award for Best Community Podcast has created a space where listeners feel seen, heard, and connected. They've given a voice to the voiceless and inspired us all to make a difference. And the ARKAST Award for Best Community Podcast goes to From Prison to Purpose.
Thank you to all the podcasters out there who are making the podcast movement so explosive. My name's Jimmy McGill, and I'm the host of From Prison to Purpose, which is a popular podcast that talks about success stories after incarceration. I want to say thank you so much for finding me worthy of the award for Community Podcast, and I want to say thank you so much to my producer, Ty King. You're amazing. We could not do any of this without you. Follow us on social media, all platforms. You guys rock, and thank you, Ty, for everything.
So now, Best Arts Podcast. The arts enrich our lives, challenge our perspectives, and connect us to something bigger than ourselves. Whether it's exploring the history of a masterpiece, unpacking the creative process, or interviewing groundbreaking artists, podcasts provide a unique and intimate platform for celebrating the power of the arts. And the ARKAST Award for this category goes to the podcast Arts and Letters. And Brad and Mary Ellen Kubik couldn't be here tonight, but they sent in a video for us to play. But before that, I just wanted to say that on a personal note, this podcast is special to me because when I worked at KUAR, Brad came to me with this idea of a show, and I helped them create the pilot. And so what started as a small radio show now is a really big podcast. To be clear, I had nothing to do with the voting. I'm just really proud. So lately, FeedSpot recognized Arts and Letters on its list of the top 25 NPR podcasts in 2023, and there were thousands of podcasts that they went through. So they've really grown and are pretty special. Here's the video.
Hi, I'm Jay Bradley Minnick, Executive Producer for Arts and Letters Radio.
And I'm Mary Ellen Kubik, producer. We are very excited and honored to receive this award tonight. Thank you.
And we'd like to thank the Arkansas Podcast Collaborative for all they do for podcasters in Arkansas and for this award. Our podcast, Arts and Letters, celebrates opportunities for the arts and humanities in Arkansas and the Mid-South. We believe in passion and perseverance, and we know that the Arkansas Podcast Collaborative believes too in these values, and that everyone has a story to tell. Every podcast needs collaborators, and we'd especially like to thank Mr. Joseph Fuller from an Orchestra One for mixing and mastering our episodes.
And audio producer Christopher Hickey, who started this journey with us over 10 years ago and is still a part of the Arts and Letters Radio family today.
We'd like to thank the multi-talented Mr. Silas Height, who has produced, mixed, and mastered Arts and Letters, and our spin-off show, Our Poetic.
And Sam Gregory for all he does for us with audience engagement.
We'd like to thank our guests and musicians, many of whom have become dear friends. We'd also like to thank the Arkansas Humanities Council, Humanities R, for their amazing support over these last 7 years. And a big shout out to Little Rock Public Radio, who broadcasts our shows and supports us in ways too numerous to count.
And a super special thank you to all of our listeners who have stuck with us over the last 10 years. We wouldn't be here without you. Thank you so much for your votes.
You know, we started this show 10 years ago with a piece of paper, an idea, and some dreams. So if you're out there and you have an idea for a project,
never give up. Keep recording.
Thank you so much.
Bye-bye. Good night.
Documentary podcasts capture a moment of time from humanity's long cultural history. They shed light on hidden truths and give voice to the unheard. This podcast has vastly woven together narrative, sound, and investigation to create immersive listening experiences that are both captivating and informative, and sometimes scary. The winner of the Best Documentary Podcast is Drunken Cryptics.
Well, this is odd and a little awkward. Normally, there's no camera on me when I talk, and as a podcaster, y'all know we should be talking kind of speechless. But I do want to say thanks real quick to Tommy, my producer. He's my new one. He pushed me over the hump in May. My original producer passed away in April, and his name was Matt as well, so this one's for Matt. I appreciate it. I've only been doing this for 9 months, you guys, and it's an absolute blast. And I just want to thank everybody that's called in, who voted, and Jacob, appreciate the backup. So, thank you.
The next topic is Best Education Podcast. And in a world of constant learning, education, podcasts are our guides, illuminating new ideas and empowering us to grow. These nominees have sparked curiosity, deepened understanding, and made learning an adventure. They've shown us that education isn't just about memorizing facts, but about exploring the world and our place in it. And the award for Best Education Podcast goes to Tiger Talk.
Good evening. My name is Emery. Thank you so much for this incredible honor. Winning ARKAST Best Education Podcast Award is beyond anything we imagined when we first started our Tiger Talk journey.
Hello, my name is Gabby. We are so excited, and we would like to thank our loyal and amazing listeners. Your passion for learning and encouragement has been what makes us work hard to produce Tiger Talk. You inspire us to explore new ideas, have fun, and create content that truly makes a difference.
We have an amazing team of 4th and 5th grade East students who produce Tiger Talk. Every episode is a collaborative effort, from research to production to editing, and it's their hard work that makes Tiger Talk possible.
We would also like to thank educators, experts, and storytellers who have joined us on Tiger Talk. Your partnership is valuable and have made Tiger Talk so much fun.
Education is the key to empowerment and change.
Our principal, Dr. Shelley Pogue, encouraged us to start this podcast with a simple mission: to empower and engage students at John Tyson Elementary School of Innovation, to make learning meaningful for everyone, and to allow us to presentation literacy skills. Can we say mission accomplished?
To Arkansas Podcast Collaborative, thank you for recognizing the power of education.
To our fellow nominees, congratulations. You're all doing incredible work, and we are honored to be part of such a remarkable community.
Let's keep learning and growing together.
Thank you. Tiger, talk to you later. Roar.
They need to take my job. Okay. Best Entertainment Podcast. Entertainment podcasts are our escape, our companions, and our source of joy. They captivate us with their wit, charm, and ability to transport us to other worlds. They've made us laugh, think, and feel, often all at the same time. And the ARKAST Podcast Award for Best Entertainment Podcast goes to Should Have Been a Podcast.
This is awesome. You earned it, my guy. I see. I was gonna do like a bunch of cussing, but I saw the kids, so I changed my mind. It's entertainment. Changed the whole plan on that. But this is our first award. This is our first podcast, and thank you guys for even being a part of the system. Thank you guys for being brave enough to talk in front of people and do things like this. I told him to take the jacket off because I worked on these shirts.
I like the jacket too much, I'll be honest. I like that. Thanks Ty King too for us over here.
You only wear this jacket without a shirt on. It's weird, but really thank you guys for this. Thank you, Ty, for hitting us up. And thank you again. That chicken good over there.
Thank you to the Arkansas Podcast Collective as well.
All right.
Thank y'all.
Best Female Hosted Podcast. Female voices are powerful, insightful, and essential to the world of podcasting. This podcast hosts have captivated audiences with their unique perspectives, compelling storytelling, and unwavering passion. They are trailblazers inspiring a new generation of podcasters and listeners alike. And the ARKAST Award for Best Female Hosted Podcast goes to Unexplained Arkansas.
This is so exciting and surprising. When we began this journey, like last year in December, we really had zero clue what we were doing, and still don't some days. But we really figured that 0 people would actually listen. Maybe like our families, and they really don't listen anymore anyway. Daryl, you don't listen anymore. But thankfully, we were so wrong. Our listeners are amazing. They're absolutely the best. So a big thanks. This is really for the listeners. It goes out to our listeners and our Patreon and our Facebook group who are like family to us now. We just love them and couldn't do this without them. A big thank you to our husbands, Daryl and Scott. And then also, well, for the support and the money to do this. And then our kids for, critiques. And they don't listen, but they have to endure people talking to them about listening. So they have to deal with that. But we're very thankful for that. And just a big thanks to all our families and friends that listen and wear our merch. So thank you to Ty. Thank you so much for holding this event. We're so appreciative. And just everything that goes with it. And so we are thankful, grateful, and blessed, and we're just appreciative. And we have tons planned for 2025. Thank you.
Best Health Podcast. Health podcasts are our partners in wellness, offering guidance, support, and expert advice on our journey to better living. They empower us to take control of our health, providing evidence-based information, inspiring stories, and practical tips. They've helped us understand our bodies, minds, and spirits, and guide us towards a healthier, happier life. And the ARKAST Podcast Award for Best Health Podcast goes to the Wellness Mamas Podcast.
everyone. We have a background in health. I'm a medical laboratory scientist. Steph is a nurse. We like to use our background to help people in the community, and we love interviewing local practitioners, and we're trying to build a resource library for everybody to use and have, and we're just really grateful to be here. That's good.
The next category is Best History Podcasts. History podcasts are time machines transporting us to bygone eras and shedding light on events that have shaped our world. This podcast has brought the past to life with vivid storytelling, expert analysis, and fascinating insights. They reminded us that history is not just a collection of dates and names, but a rich tapestry of the human experience. And the ARKAST Award for Best History Podcast goes to Tales of the True Grit Trail. So sorry.
Hello, my name's Kevin Jones. This is my wife, Maggie Jones, and she's the voice of Maddie Ross in our podcast. And this started out as a subsidiary of the True Grit Trail, which is running from Dardanelle all the way into Tallahena, Oklahoma. And we were asked to help do a little bit of cultural tourism and include people and talk more about the real history and combine that with, of course, the great book True Grit. And so you have Maddie Ross, who introduces the real history, and it's kind of an interview, and then she comes back later and says, okay, here's the fictional part, here's some little bit of narrative or dramatic portion about it, and she comes back at the end and tells you the real story too. So it's a combination, and we're hoping that it encourages people to look at all of these great places up and down the highway and the little known facts of these little communities. So thank you.
Thank you.
Best Kids and Family Podcast. Kids and Family Podcasts spark imagination, encourage learning, and bring families together for moments of joy and wonder. This podcast gives wholesome content that entertains, educates, and inspires young minds. This podcast's production is done so well and is clearly a sign of great leaders of the future. The ARKAST Award for Best Kids and Family Podcast goes to Tiger Talk.
Good evening, everyone. My name is Gabby.
My name is Emery, and we are truly honored to accept the 2024 ARKAST Award for the Best Kids and Family Podcast.
This recognition means so much to us because it celebrates Tiger Talk for creating content that brings families together, inspires young minds, and builds meaningful connections in our community.
We would like to thank the Arkansas Podcast Collaborative for recognizing the power and impact of podcasts. Being part of such a talented and supportive community of creators is a privilege.
To the Tiger Talk listeners, you inspire every episode. Thank you for trusting us to be a part of your family's adventure, whether you listen during a car ride, at bedtime, or on rainy days when you're stuck inside. We appreciate your support.
To the Tiger Talk team, our families, friends, and our principal, Dr. Shelley Poe, thank you. This award would not be possible without your support.
Thank you. We appreciate each of you for teaching us and believing in us.
To our fellow nominees, congratulations on the remarkable work that you are doing.
Let's keep telling stories and make families laugh, think, talk, imagine, and enjoy spending times together. Thank you again for this incredible honor. Tiger talks to you later. Roar.
Best LGBTQ Podcast. LGBTQ podcasts amplify marginalized voices, celebrate diversity, and foster a sense of community and belonging. These nominees have shared stories of resilience, love, and triumph, inspiring listeners to embrace their authentic selves. They've created spaces for dialogue, education, and advocacy, promoting understanding and acceptance for all. And the ARKAST Award for Best LGBTQ Podcast goes to Tomorrow's a New Day.
Everyone, I'm Aaron Wallace. I'm the creator, producer, writer, director, everything of Tomorrow's a New Day, which is a soap opera that's kind of like in the old radio days. We just brought it to podcast days. I have a cast of about 16 people that are all around the world, from Australia, New York, California. So I want to thank all of them because they really they work with me in their schedules, because different time zones are very challenging to get, especially when you're halfway across the world. But I just want to thank my cast, my crew, my mom and my nana who got me into soap operas, because without them I wouldn't have been this obsessed with soap operas, that I would create one myself. And then I also want to thank my wonderful husband, who is an actor, assistant producer, assistant proofreader, everything when it comes to Tomorrow's a New Day, because I kind of just assign it to him. So thank you. I love you, John.
Now on to the best male-hosted podcast. While there is no shortage of male-hosted podcasts, this podcast stands out with its unique perspective and reverence for culture, history, and education. It has inspired us with their passion, expertise, and storytelling skills. The ARKAST Podcast Award for Best Male-Hosted Podcast goes to Celtic Crossroads.
Thank you. My name is Kenton Adler, and I am the Director of Advancement for the Scottish Heritage Program at Lyon College over in Batesville, and I'm the producer and the presenter for Celtic Crossroads. And I had a question just a little while ago, what are you talking about when you're talking about Celtic music? I cover everything from Scotland, Ireland, the western part of France and the Breton region, the Galician region of Spain, sometimes up into Norway, Cornwall, Australia, the United States, Canada, anywhere somebody's making music that is either Celtic in origin or they're a Celtic artist that may be performing some American music of some sort. Just this last week I played an Irish band called The Misunderstood that was performing the old Lead Belly tune out on the Western Plains. So I cover a lot of ground. It's a very eclectic program. We drop every Friday night at 6. If you haven't heard us, we're on a YouTube platform that is sponsored by the Kilt Studios on the campus of Lyon College. And I'd just like to say thank you to the Academy and all the little people that made this possible. I was waiting for somebody to beat me to that. Come on. I really would like to thank the estate of the late Robert Louis Campbell, who bequeathed to the Lyon College Scottish Heritage Program 4,000 Celtic music CDs that allowed me to start this program in earnest. And I also want to thank his wife, Renata, who has followed through with me to help keep Robert's spirit alive. He was a great guy, a friend for about 20 years, and he had a remarkable Celtic music collection, which is now kind of under my supervision and use, and I use that to produce this program every week. I also want to thank Jim Bell, who's the director of Scottish Heritage at Lyon College. He's the pipe major of the pipe band. I'm a piper. My wife is a piper. There's a lot of Celtic music that goes on in our house all the time. I want to thank the Lyon College administration and the folks in the Mabee Simpson Library who allow me the space to store all these CDs, and we're building a remarkable database that will eventually allow people to come in and use this as a resource. I want to thank all my listeners. Some of them are as far away as Akita, Japan. I've got listeners in Australia, Canada, all over the United States and other parts of the world I probably don't even know about, certainly Scotland and Ireland. And I want to thank all you guys in ARKAST for making this venue available to recognize the work that I know everybody is doing for hours and hours and hours behind the scenes, and then come out and make it sound like, oh, yeah, that was pretty neat. Anyway, thank you all. I appreciate the recognition, and really appreciate your inviting us over to do this tonight, and we'll see you again. Or as I say at the end of the program, we'll see you at the crossroads.
The next category is Best Music Podcasts. Music podcasts are our soundtrack to discovery, taking us deeper into the melodies, artists, and stories that move us. These nominees have tuned us in onto new sounds and expanded our musical horizons and celebrated the power of music to connect us all. The ARKAST Podcast Award for Best Music Podcast goes to The Music List.
We didn't have a prepared speech, but first I want to thank the collaborative for putting this together, for putting us together as a group of primarily Arkansas podcasters. It's nice to know that we've got a state that is kind of pioneering in a lot of ways in this medium. Want to thank obviously our listeners. Got to give a thank you to Sean Sanders, which is Heather's husband. He's our producer and engineer. Want to wish our sister Beth, who couldn't be here tonight, a happy win as well. We're going to be unbearable because we're going to put We Are Now an award-winning podcast on all of our literature. So congratulations to all the winners tonight. We hope y'all do the same, and hope that together we help put Arkansas on the map as one of the great pioneer places for podcasting as we move forward. So thank you.
Best Organization Podcast. Nonprofits are the backbone of our communities, working tirelessly to make the world a better place. Podcasts with a cause give voice to their missions, sharing stories of impact and inspiring listeners to get involved. They've shown us the power of collective action and reminded us that we all have a role to play in creating positive change. And the ARKAST Podcast Award for Best Organization Podcast goes to I Didn't Sign Up for This.
The email that Ty was playing a joke on me. So I want to thank Ty and Brittany, the collaborator, we got this, for grooming me into being a podcaster, because I did not sign up for it. If you heard, it was from my organization, and had been a guest on a couple of podcasts, and my executive director said that I should do it, and I was like, I shouldn't sign up for this. But I did, and our podcast gives voices to family members caring for their loved ones with Alzheimer's, dementia, and other chronic illnesses. And we could not do this without this amazing lady, our sponsor, Kim Clatworthy, and Elder Independence Home Care.
I just wanted to say thank you so much. Thank you.
Yeah, we didn't sign up for this.
We didn't, but we're excited to be here.
Best Podcast Production is a team of talented professionals who bring the magic to life. This production company is the master of the craft, elevating podcasting to an art form. They've captured our attention with immersive sound design, compelling storytelling, and flawless execution. And the ARKAST Podcast Award for Best Podcast Production Company goes to Kilt Studios at Lyon College.
Some of my good stuff last time. I'm actually not a part of the production group there at Kilt. They handle my show and put it up on their platform every week on YouTube, and for that I'm greatly appreciative. But I want to thank you on behalf of Roddick Shulga, who is a professor, Dr. Roddick Shulga at Lyon College, who is the advisor for the Kilt Studio, and Patrick Lynch. They've turned this production studio into a really quality resource, that's the word I'm looking for, that's down in the basement of the Maybe Simpson Library, and where our students can come in and produce podcasts, and we have a lot of guest speakers that come and speak on these various topics about educational interests and various community things. Patrick hosts a show called Career Pathways, and they're doing some really great stuff down there, so it's nice to see them recognized. Ty had tried to get hold of them earlier, and I guess they didn't get the word because they didn't know this was coming, so it'll be a nice surprise for Roddick and Patrick in the morning, and I will deliver that personally. So on behalf of Kilt Studio, thank you all, and thank you to ARKAST.
Now on to Best Politics and News Podcast. Politics and news have both been pretty important, especially this year. This podcast delivers insightful analysis, breaking stories, and diverse perspectives on the issues that matter most. It has kept us informed, challenged our assumptions, and empowered us to engage with the complexities of our time. And the ARKAST Award for Best Politics and News Podcast goes to Ozarks at Large.
I talk enough. This is really special. Thank you for doing this. Ozarks at Large has been on the air on KUAF for 35 years. I guess all the hosts of Tiger Talk combined are not that old. And I got started in radio 45 years ago, and when I got started, everyone on radio just about looked and sounded like me. Thank you for doing this and giving support. For those of you doing podcasts, there are people that you don't even know listening, and you're making a difference in their life just by being there. Thank you for doing that. Thanks to Clint and everyone at KUAF for helping me out. This is really special.
Best Sports Podcast. Sports podcasts bring us closer to the games we love, delivering expert analysis, exciting interviews, and behind-the-scenes stories from the world of competition. This podcast has captured the thrill of victory, the agony of defeat, and the unwavering passion that fuels our favorite athletes and teams. And the ARKAST Award for Best Sports Podcast goes to Inside the Huddle with Dalton Reed.
Wow, you'd think we host an hour-long podcast, but a 2-minute speech up here seems like a mile. I wrote 5 different speeches today, and I trashed all of them at the hotel before we left. Wow, there are words. I have a lot of people to thank. I have 2 tables of lovely supporters down here. I would like to thank my high school administration. They support me in whatever way I need at Magnet Cove. I have 2 sponsors that would walk through fire for me, Razorback Camper Sales and the Johnson family. I've known them since I was a baby, and then Hartzell's Farms and Excavating. They have been a great support. My advisor is sitting right over here, Mr. Shane Hartzell. And this is the 2nd year of Inside the Huddle, and at a school where when I graduated in May, only 35 other kids walked behind me. Media is not ever at the forefront, so I saw an opportunity and I took it. And now I've had the opportunity to interview I think next episode will be 25 episodes, and I'm really proud of those 25 episodes, and I want to thank ARKAST and the Arkansas Podcast Collaborative for what y'all do. It's really cool to get this, and this one is for all the people that think that they can't do it, that they can, and I'm living proof of that. So when the analytics are down, keep recording, and I promise you, your moment will come. Thank you so much, guys.
Best Travel Podcast. Travel podcasts are our passports to adventure, transporting us to far-flung destinations and igniting our wanderlust. This podcast has explored hidden gems, shared strange stories, and researched Arkansas history with a sharp eye for the unexplained. They've opened our eyes to new cultures, encouraged us to step outside of our comfort zones, and reminded us of the beauty and diversity of our world. And the ARKAST Podcast Award for Best Travel Podcast goes to Unexplained Arkansas.
This pretty brief, but I thought I'd bring Amber again, so I'm probably going to carry this around for a while. But anyway, we have gotten the pleasure of going to so many fun places around the state. I think one of our favorite, of course, was our the Crescent Hotel episode. It was so much fun. We both love Eureka Springs. So anyway, so you'll have to go listen to that episode. But anyway, thank you so much again to our listeners and everyone that voted for us. Thank you.
Best True Crime Podcast. True crime podcasts take us into the heart of darkness, exploring the most gripping and mysterious cases that have been captivating the world. These podcasts has delved into the depths of human behavior, uncovered hidden truths, and shed light on unsolved mysteries. They've kept us on the edge of our seats, challenged our perceptions, and reminded us of the importance of justice and accountability. All right, and the ARKAST Podcast Award for Best True Crime Podcast goes to United States of Murder.
I'm Lacey. And I'm Ashley. And we are United States of Murder. Not Unexplained Arkansas. But we love her.
That's our friend.
Yeah, we love her. So thank you so much for this incredible award. We're super grateful to ARKAST and of course to our listeners and supporters. Our True Crime Podcast is more than just a platform for storytelling. It's a call for justice, and it's dedicated to giving a voice to those who have been overlooked or forgotten. My turn? Yep.
In the world of true crime, it is impossible to ignore the stories of countless people who have faced violence, prejudice, and silence. Our work seeks not only to remember them, but also to acknowledge the systematic issues that allow these stories to go untold for so long. I'm nervous. We tell these stories not just to uncover facts, but to expose the injustices that still impact so many, especially those from marginalized communities.
And we're so thankful to those that continue to stand with us as we continue to shine a light on these difficult truths. Together we bring awareness and advocate for change. This award belongs to each person whose story deserves to be heard and remembered. Thank you.
Thank you.
All right, the next one is Best TV and Film Podcast. TV and film podcasts take us deeper into the stories that we love, offering insightful and analysis behind the scenes secrets and passionate discussions about the movies. and shows that capture our imaginations. They have entertained us with their witty banter, impressed us with their expertise, and given us a whole new appreciation for the art of screen storytelling. And the ARKAST Award for Best TV and Film Podcast goes to Real Talk Arkansas.
I don't think I've won an award since high school, and I'm pretty sure my mom threw all of those out. So she's not getting this one, though. This feels special. This feels good. On behalf of the Arkansas Cinema Society, I want to thank ARKAST, everyone who voted for giving us this award. This is really cool. We love what we do of growing the filmmaking ecosystem in our state, and I do a lot of stuff at my job, but hosting this podcast is definitely one of my favorite things. And I mean, the editing's not, but you got to get through it. But just one last thing, I want to thank all the filmmakers that have been a part of this, all of our listeners, our friends at Fayetteville Public TV, and at Little Rock Public Radio who have helped out, and just to everybody on the ACS team and the ACS board. Thank you all. Thank you. Have a good night.
Best Comedy Podcast. Laughter is the best medicine. From witty banter and hilarious storytelling to side-splitting improv and clever observations, comedy is essential. And the ARKAST Award for Best Comedy Podcast goes to, you must be thinking of another podcast.
This isn't my podcast. These are my good friends who I met at Podcast Movement, which just goes to show that podcasting really can connect you to people that you would never expect. But Kelsey and Robert would like to say thank you to their fans, the Shrimp Council, and all the support from the podcaster friends that have helped them grow with the show and as people. And as always, remember, this podcast as well as mine available wherever you get your podcast.
Young Podcaster of the Year. The future podcasting is bright, and this young podcaster is leading the way with their creativity, passion, and unique voice. She has shown us that age is no barrier to sharing stories, building communities, and making a difference in the world. And the ARKAST Award for Young Podcaster of the Year goes to Gabby George.
Wow, thank you so much. This is an incredible honor, and I'm deeply grateful to be standing here tonight at the first ever ARKAST Award ceremony. First, I would like to thank the ARKAST Podcast Collaborative and everyone that voted for Tiger Talk. Thank you for recognizing the work that has gone into this podcast. To even consider among such talented and inspiring young podcasters is humbling. Congratulations to all the nominees. You're all amazing. When I started hosting this podcast 2 years ago as a 4th grader, I never imagined that it would grow to have the impact it does today. Hosting Tiger Talk has taught me the power of voice, connection, and the importance of sharing stories that matter. To Tiger Talk listeners, this is as much your award as it is mine. Thank you for listening, being a part of this incredible Tiger Talk community, and voting. To my family, friends, Miss Jennifer Bogart, my elementary East facilitator, Dr. Shelley Pogue, who had a vision of a student-led podcast at JTE East Initiative, and everyone who believes in me. Thank you for your endless encouragement and always cheering me on. This isn't just an award for the past, it's motivation for the future. There's so much more I want to share, explore, and create. Thank you again for this incredible recognition. Tiger, talk to you later. Roar.
Rising Star Podcaster. The world of podcasting is constantly evolving, and these rising stars are a testament to the fresh talent and innovative ideas shaping the future of audio. They've captured our attention with their unique voices, compelling stories, and unwavering passion. They are the ones to watch, the trailblazers who are pushing the boundaries of podcasting and inspiring us all. And the ARKAST Podcast Award for Rising Star Podcaster of the Year goes to Tiffany Alexander.
I've not had a problem talking my whole life, but I decided to write a few things down just in case I wouldn't forget anything. I would first like to thank anybody that voted for me and my devoted listeners, and I also want to thank Arkansas Podcast Collaborative, all the sponsors, and a special shout out to Cody and Ty King. They helped me get started on this journey. I had no clue what I was doing. Ty even helped edit a podcast interview that was in a car. The lady popped up and she was literally in her vehicle, but he came and saved the day for me. When I first started this podcasting journey, like I said, I had no clue what I was doing, but I had a deep desire and yearning to help people, to help heal the world. I had been in an abusive relationship, an estranged relationship with my mom, and my best friend of 26 years had committed suicide. This all happened within a 6-month period. Those events catapulted me into a journey of healing. The first episode was absolutely terrible. It lasted about 16 minutes long, but I didn't give up. My confidence began to grow, and the more my purpose and mission began to change. So now my TIFF Talks has been rebranded to The Journey Within with Tiffany K. And it's geared more towards women about self-love and self-discovery because it's something I lacked most of my life. I could see the impact of how my life and the life of others is really deeply impacted by our childhood. It's not that I think men don't need or deserve healing, but it's a journey that I had taken myself. So I want women to be able to connect with me and with my voice, and where I can help them find their inner goddess as well. Thank you.
The next award is the Social Impact Podcaster of the Year. Some podcasters don't just entertain or inform, they inspire action. This podcast has used their platform to champion causes, amplify marginalized voices, and drive positive change in the world. They've tackled through tough issues and sparked important conversations and motivated listeners to make a difference. The ARKAST Podcast Award for the Social Impact Podcaster of the Year goes to LaTanya Holmes.
I do not have a speech, and I feel like I should after going behind Tiffany, but that's okay. I just want to say thank you. I started my podcast almost 3 years ago, and it has definitely been a journey for me. I've met some amazing people, made a lot of friends, and so this is not just for me, this is for all the little girls like myself who think they can't do anything. So that's it. Thank you.
Podcasters of the Year. Podcasters are the heart and soul of the industry, the storytellers, the entertainers, the voices that captivate and inspire us. These nominees have demonstrated exceptional talent, creativity, and a deep connection with their audiences. They've built communities, sparked conversations, and made a lasting impact on the world of podcasting. And the ARKAST Podcast Award for Podcasters of the Year goes to Daniel Keller and Daniel, I'm not going to say this right, Sean, great, sweet, or Daniel 1 and 2 of People of Northwest Arkansas.
I'm Danielle Keller. Danielle Shaman, I have to say that he deserves an award because he's probably the only person that's ever pronounced my name correctly.
Yeah, and our podcast is called The People of Northwest Arkansas. We started this podcast a little over a year ago. I have a background in film, and I'd always met people and thought, oh, it'd be so great to do documentary film about you, documentary film about you. There's no time to do documentary film about everyone. And so we met through a documentary film that I'd been working on, and Danielle has a background in voice acting, and so we had kind of met through that. Then we went on a radio show together and found that we had really great chemistry on air. And I kind of just like jokingly said, hey, we should do a podcast. And here we are today doing a podcast.
So we started a year ago, and we just found every time we were meeting, people were sharing their stories like in coffee shops or wherever we met. And so really what we wanted to do was create a platform. Like many of you, create a community. We wanted to amplify all the different voices in this area. This area is growing, so we're really just trying to connect people, and just we think that everyone has a unique story worth sharing. And so that's what we try to do, and we just want to thank our listeners and our producer, Brock Short, and our sponsors and everyone that listens in.
And our families as well, who couldn't be here tonight with us, but our husbands, our kids, they've made a lot of sacrifices for us to be able to do this, and we've really enjoyed it. Thank you to Arkansas Podcast Collaborative and Ty and Karen and Brittany, and everything that you're doing here in Arkansas is really special in the podcasting world, and we're just, thank you so much. And just like super impressed with all of you. So congratulations to everyone here in this room and for all the work that you're doing. And it's kind of neat being in a space where we all we get it. We know how much work is put in. We know how much sacrifice is made, and we know how valuable it is to get voices out there and to be able to share stories. I think storytelling is really important in the world that we live in today. And so great job to everyone that's here, and keep podcasting because it's so much fun and it's great. All right, thank you.
So sadly there were a few people that weren't able to show up tonight to accept their awards, but there's still one more on the table that I know that we haven't gotten to yet. And so this is for the Culture Podcast. As I spoke before, podcasts can change the way that we understand other people, the way that we communicate with other people, the way we understand, pop culture, or even have a laugh together about things that are just so hard that we're all experiencing at the same time. So tonight, it's my honor to announce that the Culture Podcast of the Year goes to Should Have Been a Podcast.
Once again, thanks to the Arkansas Podcast Collaborative, ARKAST Awards. I go by the name Necessary Kinga. This is my brother, Shea D. Man, we started this podcast probably in 2020, but we actually started it in April. So it just goes to show sometimes that idea just takes a minute to cook for you to get it out there. But for us to do this, and I actually should have won producer of the year. How many F-bombs I got to edit out 90 F-bombs from this. No, I'm joking. But yeah, Should Have Been a Podcast. Our main platform is YouTube, so youtube.com/SBA Podcast. We're on Instagram. You can catch us on Facebook. You got anything before we...
I mean, culture is a strong word. Right. Yeah. So you guys got to get yourself a hand. So can we please give you guys a hand? No. A real hand. Get a knife. No, but thank you guys. I'm gonna steal his jacket, so y'all see I showed the jacket on. I borrowed it from him. But we really appreciate this, and it's all about culture and people and family and working together. Like a lot of people got full teams. It's just me and him. That's it. We do have a midget, but he's not here. That's 5 people. Thank you, man. Thank you so much.
All right, thank you.
So we got a very special award we're going to do tonight. So this is the one that wasn't community voted, but the community of podcasters fills it, and they have benefited off this individual, whether they realize it or not. So Elena, would you help me present this award?
Yes, this is the 2024 Wavemaker Award. The Wavemaker Award celebrates an individual who embodies the spirit of podcasting, using their voice to uplift their community, inspire others, and make a lasting impact on the world. This year's recipient is a true champion of the podcasting medium, a beacon of positivity, and a shining example of how podcasting can be a force for good. The first ever Wavemaker Award goes to, can I get a big round of applause for Randy Wilbur of Northwest Arkansas, the man himself.
Right. Man, this is something. Thank you to, let me just get my little notes out here. I did write some notes because, as a podcaster, you always have some information ready to go whenever. But I want to thank Ty, Brittany, and Karen, and everyone from the Arkansas Podcast Collaborative and the ARKAST Awards. It certainly is an honor. I actually got to speak at this event last year, and my encouragement is the same thing that I would say tonight, which is simply always be willing to press record, because there's always a story to be told. And I'm reminded of that over the last 15 years of doing podcasting and almost 2,000 episodes. It can make a difference. You never know it, you don't realize it, but it can make a difference. And so I just want to just say a couple of quick things. Podcasts are educational, they're inspiring. We heard some people talk about that tonight. They're cathartic. Podcasts are informative. They're entertaining, right? These brothers right here. And most importantly, they're portable. So don't let anybody tell you that they don't know anything about podcasting. There's never an excuse not to pick up a new podcast and listen to it. And all of you guys are one shining example of why people should be listening to podcasts. So if what we're doing right here in Arkansas is happening, can you just imagine what it's like in the other 49 states? So I just want to encourage you to keep doing that. The market size is projected to grow. We have 504 million podcast listeners worldwide. There's an audience out there for everyone. And I was so encouraged by these young ladies here. I just happened to know one of the young ladies that got the award tonight. And I was joking with her mother via text that, man, y'all are just stealing all the awards. And I love seeing the next generation, because that's honestly what it's all about. I mean, but the beautiful thing about podcasting is that you can do it for a long time. So maybe when I'm in a nursing home, I'll still be podcasting, because all I need is a Zoom and a mic, and I'm good to go. But the reality is that this is a great medium for every generation to embrace, because storytelling has always been and will always be the main through line that is, as human beings, we gravitate towards to carry us from one place to the next. So I just want to encourage all of you to keep telling stories. Don't make it about money, because I'm telling you that if you make it about money, then it's going to ruin everything. But the money will come, though. I've got sponsors, so I want to send a shout out to Signature Bank. I want to send a shout out to the Northwest Arkansas Council. There's so many companies that have supported what I've been doing, but I just want to encourage everyone to continue to press record, continue to tell your stories, and just stay true to what you know. Because trust me when I say this, there's somebody out there listening. Thank you guys all very much.
Thank you guys all for being here. One more thing before we leave, and nobody knows that I'm doing this. This is the fun part, where I introduce the chaos and the chaotic stuff. But anyways, so you guys see plenty of my face, you see plenty of Cody, but if you'll notice, there is a wall of women up here, and there is one sitting over there, Brittany Rush, and without any of this stuff, none of it would be possible without their help. And so tonight, I want to say thank you to all the ladies of Arkansas Podcast Collaborative that have helped us get to this point, host this night, and honor you guys. A few of them have some upcoming events. Brittany's about to get married to that gentleman sitting right next to her in just a few days. Yeah. Karen, wherever she went, is going to have a birthday tomorrow. And Anna, who is one of our main speakers, she came here from Texas, but she is now an Arkansan. She has moved here to Northwest Arkansas, and now you guys get to have her in this community. Yes, clap for that. With that, we're going to give Anna an Arkansas Podcaster's hat. She's now official. This big game I know is happening on Saturday. I've heard there's another state that Arkansas was playing. Who was it? Texas. Okay, yeah. So now you've got to claim Arkansas now that you're here. I don't know if it'll fit on top of the spike. Yeah. Yep. Secondly, tonight in this whole event, the next 2 days that we have planned, I couldn't have planned it on my own, and so Charlie has been a huge help in being the communications between us. Yes, yeah, clap for him, for sure. So we're gonna crown Charlie the queen of podcasting for 2024.
Thank you. Thanks, Ty, for giving me the Queen of Podcasting of 2024. Appreciate it. I'll see you all tomorrow, and I'm sure we'll catch up, and you'll hear all about how cool I am. Okay, bye.
Absolutely. I know a lot of you were just here for tonight, and so thank you so much for making the drive, making the travel, reappear, and for celebrating, and for clapping for everybody that came up here. As I said, you're leaders in your genre. People are counting on you to make the right moves for them, to open doors, and you're doing that. You're not just doing it for them or yourself, you're doing it for the state, and I think it's going to help us progress forward. So one more thing, there are a few styrofoam food plates over there. Please grab those on the way out so that we don't have stuck with food. Also, if you'll meet Karen in the hallway, the winners, please go to the hallway with Karen and she'll take a quick photo of you guys. And tomorrow morning, we'll be sending out those photos with a press release to all the media. Thank you so much for everyone here. Hope to see you over the next couple of days. If not, please stay in touch with us at ARKASTPodcasters.org. Thank you guys. Have a good night.